I'm Tom Leach. With me is Tim Spears. Tim, some news today coming out of the Wolves camp, and it's not great news, is it?
No, not good news. They've had an excellent record in the injury department this year. In fact, they've had a fully fit squad for quite a while, which is pretty rare, I think, these days. And they do an awful lot of work on preventing injuries, and it's been very successful. But yeah, players gone away on international break and picked up quite a nasty injury. It looks like Jonny Castro Otto. The Spanish FA have been very helpful by listing many details of the injury itself, with two statements now, one last night and one this morning. So they've confirmed very quickly that he's going to be out for up to 6 weeks with a knee problem, his right knee, some ligament damage, not a serious tear, which would be a few months out. So fortunately it's not that bad, but it's a few weeks. He's an ever-present so far, Johnny, so certainly a blow. And with Matt Doherty missing Ireland's games during this international break, for anyone who doesn't remember, took a real nasty knock to the side of his face at the end of the Arsenal game. He's all bruised and swelling around his eye, so he was pulled out of the Ireland squad. Remains to be seen whether he's around for Saturday. But we know how important the wing backs are to Wolves and their formation, so to be missing one and maybe two is interesting to see what they do on Sunday.
There's no more frustrating way, is there, for a player to pick up an injury when he's one of your own? I mean, who's going to come in on Saturday?
You're right, and everybody keeps calling for lots of Wolves' players to be called up for international duty, like Conor Cody and whatnot, and they may change their minds now because this is what happens. As for who comes in, I think it's a straight swap. I think Ruben Vinagre will come in. He's been on the bench. He's come off the bench a few times this season. Not started in the league for almost a year, but we know how talented he is. 19 years old, full of pace. He's been great at coming on towards the end of games and stretching the play. We know he can take his man on. He's obviously left-footed, which is different to Johnny. You know, Johnny's been excellent defensively, first and foremost, but doesn't quite have too much about him in the final third, the opposition pitch, because he's right-footed. He's been cutting inside. He's been getting in the way of Diogo Jota a little bit, which I think has been a bit of an issue. Vinagre offers something completely different. The issue with Vinagre is defensively, is he going to be sharp enough? There was certainly a bit of a weakness of his game last year, and that's why we didn't see him after Christmas. So in the league, so hopefully a year on the training pitch with Nuno has sorted that out, because Wolves have got some big games coming up. I mean, if Johnny is out for 6 weeks, as Spain say he is, then that's 8 or 9 games, because December's by far the busiest month of the season. So you've got big games in there: Huddersfield, Cardiff, Fulham and Newcastle at the wrong end, Chelsea, Liverpool, Spurs at the top end. So Vinagre has got to adapt quickly and settle into a rhythm as quickly as possible. And as for Doherty on the right flank, I've been saying this for a while, as of a lot of fans. Wolves haven't signed a right wing back for a long time, but Doherty has been there week after week, except for one game he missed with suspension last year. I've seen 7 players suggested by fans on Twitter as to who can replace Doherty. There is no natural right wing back as a replacement, so we'll see if he's going to be fit. Hopefully he will be, with a knock to the face. Hopefully he'll be okay. But if not, you've got Ryan Bennett, who's played there, who's obviously a centre-half by trade. Adama Traore, who's probably the least defensive player I've ever seen in my life. Oscar Bo Rasmussen, who filled in once last season. Dominic Iorfa, who's been completely cut out for a couple of years now. And then Morgan Gibbs-White, Leander Dendoncker, and even the left-footed Ryan Giles have all been suggested by fans on Twitter. We'll see. Like I said, hopefully Nuno won't have to cross that particular bridge. But if Doherty is out, I've got absolutely no idea who they play.
Interesting times ahead. For the rest of the Wolves coverage, keep it expressandstar.com.